When I first started trying to live the Christian life, I used to commute to London every day. And at first I used to play cards. I was very backslidden. I used to gamble. I used to get actually I reckoned I got my season ticket money playing cards every day. And then I had this real conviction of, come on, are you going to live a Christian life or not? And so I moved back in the train to the anonymous part rather than the party that was at the front every morning. And I started reading. And so I think some of the early heroes were, I started reading about the 5 martyrs who died in South America, how they laid down their lives. I was amazed at Through Gates of Splendor and The Shadow of the Almighty, Jim Elliot, that young man. I thought, wow, he's a contemporary of mine. And then I began to read other missionary stories. I think Hudson Taylor would be one of my greatest heroes of all time, who started the China Inland Mission as a faith mission. As a 23-year-old, he, on Brighton Beach, wrestled with God as to whether he could start a mission in inner China. There were missionaries on the border, and on the coast, no one had gone inland, and he started the China Inland Mission. He's a great, great hero of mine. So I have a lot of heroes who are past, heroes from the past, especially those great missionary guys, William Carey, amazing people, and some people like C.H. Spurgeon in this country, C.T. Studd, those kind of people. I love reading about these people and what their exploits.
It's amazing how the same kind of folks come up almost every time. It's hard to believe when you think of someone like William Carey, but really the church didn't evangelize into overseas territories until William Carey had the illumination.
Yeah, amazing.
And Hudson Taylor, I guess the big thing about Hudson Taylor was the way he learnt the principles of being contemporary. Until then, any missionary who'd gone to China would still dress very much in the Western lifestyle.
Yes.
And he said, no, if we're going to be relating to these people, we need to dress like the Chinese. We need to have our haircuts like the Chinese. And they sound simple principles, and yet they're the ones that God used in order for him to impact those countries.
I think that I read of him when I was myself in my early 20s, and he in his early 20s, finding these values, working them out at home at first, so that when he went to London as a young man, he let various different people think that others were supporting him, so that he could let God only support him. And he felt, if I'm going to prove God in China, I better start proving him in England first. And I guess for myself, I'd left work and was living by faith, as it's called. And I was ever so inspired by him. And George Mueller also inspired me very much as a man of faith and trusted God for provision. But that thing of being relevant to the generation, which he did against a lot of hostility. Even other missionaries said, what are you doing? And he paid a price. And also at a time when the British were not doing very well politically in suppressing Chinese people pretty horrifically. So against that kind of backdrop, trying to evangelize, I think he's just an amazing hero.